All right, so let's now take a look at some business news. And the day after the budget reading, inflation has hit 10.28% from 9.04%, representing a 1.2% rise, signaling tougher times ahead for Kenyans as the cost of basic commodities stand to be affected. The rise in the monthly inflation is anchored on an increase in several food items due to prevailing drought conditions. According to data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the Food and Non-Alcoholic Drinks Index, which has a 36.0% weighting in the basket of goods used to measure inflation, rose 18.56% year on year and 3.18% from a month earlier. This is the third consecutive rise in inflation since January, when it stood at what percentage is that? About 18.5%. All right, let's move on now. And with the budget out, reactions across the board continue to trickle in, with the latest coming from the Nairobi Securities Exchange. In an exclusive interview with KTN's Abby Agena, NSC's CEO Jeffrey Odundo notes that the budget was overly optimistic and zero-rating maize was a welcome move. Odundo notes that proposals by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich to float a 5 billion Akiba bond will trigger wealth distribution among Kenyans and help catalyze investments in the capital markets.
What do you make of the budget? Was it pro-poor, pro-rich?
So, Abby, I'll say that, in my view, the budget is responsive. I think it's taking into account the current circumstances we're going through as a country. Mm-hmm. As you rightly know, we have a drought at the moment, and also there's certain levels of credit squeeze, especially affecting the SME sector. So I think the budget is really out to sort of trigger or catalyze or strengthen the purchasing power for the majority of the Kenyans. Mm-hmm. Very positive move towards zero-rated tax on maize flour. Given that that's our staple food, I think that was a very positive move.
Do you feel it will be quite a big impact to the consumers?
Yes, I think, as the Minister said, it really depends on the whole value chain response to it. Are the millers going to be able to take that down to the sellers and ultimately to the consumers? Sure. So I think there should be a more nation goodwill by all parties in the whole value chain to ensure that it reaches down to the bottom.
Kenya's coastal city of Mombasa is soon set to boost connectivity via roads and harbours following significant investments made in the road sector by the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, now totaling 120 billion shillings. The completion of the airport road and the Dongo Kundu bypass are expected to smoothen traffic mobility and spur investments in the county that has been riddled with choking traffic griddles. And this might just be a thing of the past. KTN's Abby Agena tells us more.
The city of Mombasa is one of Kenya's gateway into the region. The city plays host to the port of Mombasa and is also home to beach tourism. Despite this, the county has sagged under the burden of a dilapidated infrastructure after years of underinvestment, which has seen Mombasa characterized with long traffic jams and for businesses an uneven environment for doing business.
Until now, entry to Mombasa has been a very, very big problem. You know, we have visitors coming from other countries, the tourists, and when they land in Mombasa, they cannot believe that's what we've been marketing as Mombasa. We've had business people coming to Mombasa, they are late for their flights out of Mombasa because of the traffic jams getting into the airport.
This has to a great extent hampered easy movement into and out of Mombasa, but now the narrative is fast changing.
And I'm glad to report that by June this year, we have finished this project, costing us 6 billion shillings. It's currently about 80 to 85% complete. And we are doing it in three sections. Like I said, from the airport to Changamwe, then this other road to Portrees, which also connects to the port. And then we have a road called Magongo. So end of the day, I think this investment will open up completely the entry and exit of Mombasa to visitors, to business people. And we believe that Mombasa will have a new look, going forward.
The government has pumped in nearly 120 billion shillings for road construction in the area in a bid to ensure the city has an integrated transport network linking the port and the standard gauge railway line.
And you cannot talk about air transport without investing on roads. That's why we thought for Mombasa International Airport to sustain its status as an international airport, you really have to do the road infrastructure.
Some of the key projects under construction are the Dongo Kundu Bypass, Meritini Road and Mwache Road, which will fully interconnect the mainland. This, however, was no mean feat, as the government encountered several obstacles, with land encroachment almost derailing the projects.
So for us, that means it has created the much needed efficiency, and it also frees up the yards for other activities.
Doing projects in the city or cities is always a very, very challenging endeavor.
Once the roads are completed, they will serve as transport corridors for traffic destined to and from Tanzania and will ease traffic pressure on the Likoni ferry crossing. With the roads coming on board, the government is banking big on opening up special economic zones that will serve as industrial parks where businesses will set up and create jobs for youth as Mombasa works to become a key hub for the region in the continent. Abi Agina, KTN Business.
A non-governmental organization in Kilifi County has set up a model farm in one of the drought-stricken areas to boost food security and create employment opportunities. The harvest from the model farm is being donated as charity to the neighboring vulnerable community. Here's more on that story with Ashley Mazuri.
Karibuni Onlas, a farm involved in various charitable activities in the country, identified Langobaya in Malindi constituency, one of the areas hit hard by food insecurity, to implement the project and is proving to be successful. Using expert agronomists, the NGO has been able to prove that despite the drought and famine that rocked the country due to shortage of rain, it is possible to produce food throughout the year using the existing resources.
Tunatumia hiyo mapato kufadhili wanafunzi ambao wanatoka maeneo haya ambao wamepata alama za kwenda chuo kikuu na labda familia zao hazina hiyo uwezo.
Apart from employment, the project is now able to sustain operations within Malindi instead of reliance on donors. According to John Franco, the president of Karibuni Onlas, more land is still needed to increase their capacity of farming through irrigation and called on the county government to come in and allocate them more land for their project, which is benefiting many people.
The county can support to give us more land. We can, with the county, to create more kazi, more job, and especially more food.
Such initiatives prove that the county can become a food basket not only for serving the county, but the entire coast region if seriously embraced. Ashley Mazuri, KTN News.
All right, so we're about to get to Willis the Webmaster, but before then, let's just take a look at the financial markets.